Well, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's daily news time. It feels like it's been ages since I've done a daily news. I think it's the first one I've done from the studio anyway, the new studio, which we're absolutely loving here. I know a few of you are talking about how you miss the aesthetics of the old one. Things change. We like it. Get used to it. So we're here for Liverpool-related news, of course. That's what we do here at the Redmen TV. Oh, we seem to have had a little bit of a break. I'll put it down to the studio. Lallana's been training with England. Therefore, Lallana has an injury scare. I'm reading this one from This Is Anfield. Lallana suffers latest injury scare during England training session on Tuesday. Adam Lallana is being assessed after withdrawing early from his first training ground session back with the England squad, the Press Association Sport understands. 30-year-old started Tuesday's session at St George's Park with the rest of the 22-man squad, but left early to have an unspecified issue evaluated. So no idea yet what it could be, but it's got to be a bit of a blow for Adam Lallana. I think 30 years old now, not had a look in the first team so far this season, although we are only 4 games into the season. You wouldn't have maybe said that any of them were really suited to him, although maybe West Ham, when we were a couple of goals up, was suited to an Adam Lallana one. I think, you know, my thoughts on this are out there, and I've said it many times, and it's something that I heard on an NFL podcast from an executive from an NFL saying broke is broke and broke stays broke. I kind of feel a little bit like that with Adam Lallana, you know, like Daniel Sturridge, who's had his injury issues, thankfully, fingers crossed, not at the moment. Adam Lallana seems to be one of those players who always seems to be getting injured, and now at his age and the difficulties he'll have getting back into this side, you've got to feel a little bit sorry for him, because it was only 2 years ago where he was sort of the outstanding player for Liverpool, and it kind of feels to me like the side's kind of moved on without him, and we've progressed and evolved, and a player who used to set the press for us isn't needed as such, because we've got Roberto Firmino to be able to do that high up, and in the midfield we look for sort of stronger, quicker players to get up and transition from that midfield to attack, and Lallana's a very technically gifted player who works very, very hard for the team, but maybe doesn't have that pace that some of the other midfielders and strength that some of the other midfielders have, but he's a good player. And I hope it is just a scare and not a setback, genuinely, because a player like him can unlock defences when he's fit and when he's firing, and it's been a long time since we've seen that. Adam Lallana. I was kind of hoping that he'd make a big difference to us in some of the tighter games this season. Obviously, if he's injured, he's not going to make those, but we don't know what type of an injury it is as yet. Fingers crossed that it's not a major one. Let us know your thoughts on Adam Lallana in the comments section below, because I've met him a couple of times, and he was such a boss bloke to have a little chat with and stuff. Like, we've done stuff on camera with him, but I remember just talking to him about his wife, and she'd just given birth to a child, and we were just having like a dad's conversation with him, and he was so cool. Like, it was just dead funny to just sit and have a proper conversation with him, and he's really a nice guy, and he's probably one of the better guys in the squad. Not that I've met anyone that's a dickhead or anything, but real top bloke from the short time that I've spent with him, real down to earth, and I do hope that he recovers, because he could be key. You never know. It's been a while since we've seen a key Adam Lallana in this Liverpool side, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope this side hasn't moved on. I hope he finds and is able to carve himself out a bit of a space in that side, because he's an effective footballer when he's on form. So, talking of effective footballers, Andy Robertson has been named the Scotland captain, and you know what? I think universally everybody is absolutely made up for Andy Robertson, because this is a guy who works so incredibly hard. Now, I know I think it's Scott Brown that's retired, and therefore it isn't available to be the Scotland captain anymore, but you know, at the age that Robbo is, he's like 24, 25, he could be a real stalwart of that Scotland side and make himself a bit of a hero, like he's made himself a bit of a hero in Liverpool, and you can just see the work ethic that he shows for Liverpool. You could see how he'd be a good international captain, just a real leader with his performances on the pitch, and you know, what a mad career he's had already, from Queen's Park to Liverpool and Champions League finals, and I couldn't have wished it on anyone else really. I mean, to captain your country at that age, and you know, the career progression that he's had over the last few years is just outstanding. Everyone's seen that tweet of him talking about having no money and needing a job and all that type of stuff, to living the dream now, playing for Liverpool Football Club and going on to captain your country. It's just absolutely superb. And the performances that he's put in at our club at Liverpool over the last 12 months plus, or the last 12 months, sorry, have warranted this. And I'm so made up for him. Let us know your thoughts and well wishes in the comments for Andy Robertson. On to another one. Mo Salah has been shortlisted for FIFA's Best Awards. Now, they broke away from the Ballon d'Or in 2016, and it's the first time that Lionel Messi hasn't been in the top 3 candidates for the FIFA World Player of the Year award since 2006, because obviously FIFA did endorse the Ballon d'Or, but they've broke away, tried to carve their own niche, and they've created these best awards. Now, he's up against Luka Modric, he's up against Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's obviously Mo Salah rounding out the top 3. So yeah, first time for Mo Salah getting in this. Now, if we have a little look, there's like sort of 4 ways of voting. One's players, I think, one's managers, one's maybe journalists, and one's fans. So hopefully the fans of Liverpool can help him to secure a large proportion of the 25% of the votes, and then fingers crossed for him. I know that Luka Modric has obviously won awards already for his performance, and he was outstanding for Real Madrid last season as they defeated us in the Champions League. Cristiano Ronaldo as well. It's a little bit of a surprise that maybe Lionel Messi's not there, a guy who had an incredible season for Barcelona as they went on to win the league title. But maybe this is the changing of the guards, or maybe what we'll see is Lionel Messi really step his game up once again. Maybe it's Cristiano Ronaldo that drops out after the start that he's had at Juventus. But obviously we wish Mo Salah all the best. And, you know, it's a guy who has been decent this season for us, but not outstanding yet. Only 2 goals and 1 assist so far in the 4 games, which is good considering we all think he's below par. But yeah, hopefully he does win that, because I think it will be deserved. 44 goals for Liverpool last season, first season in the Premier League. Obviously did really well in the Champions League as well. Talking of Champions League, Jurgen Klopp has spoken out, and he will not be rotating his goalkeeper in Champions League games this season. He obviously rotated Karius in for Simon Mignolet, who was the #1 last season for us at the beginning of the season. This time around, it is going to be Alisson all throughout the Champions League if he's fit and available. It will be him in the Premier League as well. The only question marks, I suppose, are, is Simon Mignolet going to get game time in maybe something like the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup? Personally, and I don't know what you guys and girls think of this, let us know in the comment section. I wouldn't. I just play Alisson every single week. You need to get used to the players, and that's that. And he's a better goalkeeper as well. Just saying. Okay, a little bit of talk on Lazar Markovic then. We know his deal fell through with Anderlecht. He's now spoken out on Twitter and thanked Anderlecht for doing all they could, and basically saying that it's not money, although Hein van Geesbroek, I have no idea how to say that. I'll try that again. Hein van Geesbroek is claiming that it was the player's fault, and me and Paul did a little bit on this in the podcast. But yeah, Lazar Markovic still at Liverpool Football Club, still claiming money off us, still not going to be doing anything. In fact, Liverpool's first team squad was announced for the Premier League, and he's nowhere near it. So he won't be playing for us in the Premier League. Can't imagine he'll be getting under 23s game time either. But yeah, Liverpool misfit Lazar Markovic has rejected suggestions. His last-minute deadline move to Anderlecht fell through because of money. The Serbia international, who's not played for the Reds since May 2015, travelled to Belgium after a cut-price £2.9 million fee was agreed for him to return to the club, at which he spent the second half of last season on loan. However, despite a 3-year contract being offered, the move collapsed and led to Anderlecht's manager, Hein van Geesbroek, claiming it was the player's fault. Our president and sport director did everything to convince Markovic, he told Belgian media. They waited until Liverpool lowered the price. They almost did a crazy effort to play, but it wasn't enough. It's his own fault that the deal fell through. Ouch! One that's divided the fan base online is Jordan Henderson, the captain of Liverpool Football Club, has signed a new 5-year deal with Liverpool FC, put pen to paper to sign a new long-term deal with Liverpool. The Red skipper has already been at the club for 7 years and is a regular player. listen, this is something that Henderson has said himself to LiverpoolFC.com. I'm very happy to have signed a new contract for a long period of time. I'm absolutely delighted. It doesn't seem like too long ago when I signed my first one. It feels like yesterday, but a lot has happened since. I feel it's been a progressive journey for me throughout my time here, and one that I've enjoyed so much. There is no other place in the world I would rather play football. I want to be here for as long as I can be. I'm so privileged to have been part of this club for so long, and hopefully even longer now. Again, me and Paul do quite a little bit of this on the podcast, so do check it out. It's just been released on YouTube about half an hour before we went live today. We discussed Jordan Henderson's contract in depth. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comments. I'll get to comment a little bit later on. After one more story, I think it is, and that is Liverpool's Ryan Brewster is eyeing a first-team debut this season. So it doesn't look like he's going to be back before the end of the year, but he spoke to, Glenn Price, wrote for ESPN that he'd been speaking to 442 magazine. He's eyeing a Liverpool first-team debut this season after committing his future to the club. Brewster, 18, ended the possibility of leaving Anfield when he signed his first professional contract in July and was promoted to Jurgen Klopp's senior side on a permanent basis. So he goes on to talk about how Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has been helping him through a difficult time while he's been injured, but he does want to break into that first team this season, and he's a player that I think everybody's excited to see in a Liverpool shirt. Will he make it this season? Not sure. Will he make it in the next few years? Well, looking at his pedigree and how he did in that England under-17s World Cup side, you know, top goal scorer in the tournament, he has the pedigree in youth football. Can he translate that? Let's hope so. We might save ourselves 50 million quid or something. So, Si, let's get some comments.
Yeah, so on the Lallana stuff, loads of people, like ADOTF says, get rid of him, in my opinion. He's getting too old and too many injuries. Matt Hantu says Lallana contract ends in 2021. If he can't keep fit, I say give youth like Curtis Jones a chance. And Eragon Shadeslayer says something similar, says I'd rather give a senior position to Curtis Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one at the moment, I suppose, for Adam Lallana. Not really for us as fans. We're very black and white, as it were, and, you know, we see things very cut and dry, don't we? And listen, I do think he could carve a place out if he's fit, but that's the problem, isn't it? And judging by the last sort of 2 years, he struggled to get fit, so I agree with you guys on what you were saying. The difficulty is Curtis Jones ready? Maybe not, but if he's given Adam Lallana's spot, maybe he gets ready much faster. So I kind of get what you're all saying on that one. Excuse me. I think the one thing is, can we afford to have a Curtis Jones sort of learning his trade in hopefully a title challenge season? Maybe not, but it's a difficult one. I'm glad I don't have to make the decisions, to be honest with you. I think my heart says he's done. My head says he's probably done. My heart says give him another chance. Sarah D, Green Super Chat, thank you very much. Sending you this Super Chat to shame my other half, Danny, who watches you all the time, but never puts his hand in his pocket. Great content, lads. He doesn't have to. You're watching YouTube and just watching, supporting us is absolutely fantastic. But Sarah is clearly better than her other half. She is a tremendous person. And Danny, you're a bit of a twit.
So in the last 20 minutes or so, Liverpool have issued an official statement on Lallana.
Okay.
And so they have said Lallana withdraws from England squad. Chris Shaw, Adam Lallana is withdrawn from the England squad and returned to Liverpool after sustaining a groin strain in training.
Flipping heck!
The Redmen midfielder has been recalled to Three Lions duty by Gareth Southgate for games against Spain and Switzerland in the coming week. However, England confirmed on Tuesday afternoon that Lallana requires further assessment on the groin issue and will not be involved.
They're bloody dickheads, mate. These, like, how does it happen every single time that somebody can go there and they get injured? Do you know what I mean? It happens all the time. Just stop calling up Liverpool players, please. We do not care about bloody England matches that don't matter. Do they even matter now? Are these a stupid competition, or are these still friendly, Si?
The Spain ones, that Nations League.
We're playing Spain?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just don't care about England. Go away, leave our players alone, and do not ask them to come back, please. We don't care about you. We're Scouse, not English. We just don't want you touching our players and making them injured all the time. Nobody cares. Just go away and play your stupid football without our players, please. Oh, they do my head in.
LSLFC says, do you think Klopp should pull his players out of pointless international games like Pep Guardiola has done?
Yes, back injury like Sterling, do you know what I mean? Oh, twinge in the back. Go away. Do my head in. absolutely do my head in.
So
Divvies.
we had another super chat earlier on that I'll come back to from 56 Landon. There's a nice green super chat, thanks very much. Says, what are you doing with all the Liverpool items from the old studio?
Don't know. They're currently in the storeroom. We'll use them for something. Maybe it's our 1 million subscriber giveaway. Yeah. Anything else, Si?
Yep, so Sean Conlon says we need everyone fit and ready for the next run of 7 or 8 games. It's probably the toughest run of fixtures in Europe. And Copite27 says, Chris, looking ahead at our upcoming fixtures against the likes of PSG, Chelsea, City and Spurs, how big a role do you think Shaqiri, Sturridge, Curtis Jones and some others will play in this run?
Wow, okay. So let's have a look at it first and foremost. In the Tottenham game, that's when we come back off the internationals, isn't it? I can't imagine any of them will feature. I think it's Southampton after the Tottenham game. I think that might be one that you'd earmark for someone like a Xherdan Shaqiri. Then do we go and have Paris at home, do we? Can't imagine any of them getting involved in that one. Chelsea in the Cup next, is it? In the Carabao, yes, I'd like to see maybe like a Curtis Jones and Shaqiri, Daniel Sturridge even. It's fringe players and a few kids, I think, would be what I'd do. I mean, I don't rate that competition, and I think when you're trying to maybe push for another long spell in the Champions League and a title challenge, I'm just not asked about that competition, to be honest with you. Then Chelsea at home, can't see any of them will be coming in. Then I think it's Napoli away, and if it's Napoli away, can't see any of them coming in. And then I think it's Manchester City at home, maybe. And I can't see any of them. Maybe the likes of Shaqiri could do something in a similar Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain role from last season in that game. Something that they struggled to contend with is that midfielder transitioning from midfield to attack. But other than that, I imagine it's just going to be little bits and pieces, a few minutes here and there. You might see something in the Southampton game for Shaqiri. You might see all of them in that Chelsea game. I hope I've answered the question. I hope I got the teams that were playing in the right order as well. Owen Gallagher had one who... Hi, mate. Are you okay? Chris, Liverpool need to get Mane to sign a new 5-year deal. Delighted Hendo will retire at Liverpool. He's such a team player and gives everything for the team. You'll never walk alone. A very different opinion to most people I've spoken to on the Henderson. We'll come to that in a minute. I absolutely 110% agree with you about Sadio Mane signing a new deal. If Mane signs, you've got Salah on a 5-year deal, you've got Firmino on a 5-year deal, you've got Van Dijk on a 5-year deal or close to, Keita, Henderson, I mean, just Alisson, the list goes on, doesn't it? And probably doesn't go on too far because I probably name most of them, but it's massively important that we start acting like a big club, and this is what big clubs do. Big clubs sign up the players who've done well for them for long term, and that's what we do. I don't know whether Jordan Henderson will retire at Liverpool. I think at the end of his contract, he's probably going to be 32, 33 years old. I wonder if we talked about this on the podcast, so apologies if I'm treading on stuff I've already said. But definitely, it feels like the 5th year might be protecting a little bit of value for maybe a late sale in his career. Don't know, just a little guess. But you never know. You never know. If his injury troubles are behind him, maybe he absolutely could retire at Liverpool. And do you know what? I've really enjoyed watching him at Liverpool for the last 7 years. And I'll continue to enjoy watching him. What I don't enjoy is watching people make crap highlights about him. No, that's terrible. That's not being a fan. But do check out the podcast. We have a little bit of a pop about all of that type of stuff. Ajaria is crap, says LFC Spectre. That's an interesting one, actually. I was speaking to a Rangers fan from the weekend. Obviously, Celtic beat Rangers by 1-0, and I was chatting to a mate of mine, and he said Ajaria was the worst player on the pitch
He was. I saw the game.
Yeah.
But they have been happy with him there.
Yeah, they have been. Yeah. So I don't know whether you recall an Ajaria. I don't think you can anyway. But
I'll be honest.
It's a big game for someone like him.
I thought he did more than Ryan Kent did. Ryan Kent was absolutely anonymous.
Really, yeah.
Against Celtic,
it's one of them, innit? It's like if I'd have picked a game that Ajaria doesn't suit, it would be an Old Firm derby. You know, he's a slight lad, he's tall, he's got a little bit about him and stuff, but technically very good player, but I wouldn't have thought that he'd have suited that type of blood and thunder type of game. It turns out I might have been right, but maybe in a few years. Rob Mason, what area of Liverpool the Redmen film? It's somewhere very, very close. Nay, probably in Speak, give or take. Maybe Hunts Cross, who knows.
We had someone always good, made a bit of a joke, said make Markovic go and run around the centre circle at the new Spurs stadium. That way aerial photos will show a poo circling in the toilet.
And on that bombshell, we'll end it for
I
today.
always like to end it on a bit of a crap joke, to be honest.
Yeah, well, he's definitely nailed the crap joke part of it. Pun intended. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for supporting us on this journey. Thank you, Sarah, for being much better than Danny. And we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. We're nearly at 300,000. If you want up-to-date Liverpool news, we promise we'll bring you more up-to-date Liverpool news in the future. See you next time. Ta-ra.